I love the BOTAN Tarot. Spoilers guys, I'm sorry, but I love the BOTAN Tarot. I've been looking for a tarot deck like this for so long, and once I saw it, I couldn't help myself. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Casper the Boy Diviner, and I'm also backer number 1 for the BOTAN Tarot on Kickstarter. I've been loving this tarot deck since I saw it online, and I think it was a majors only deck a few years ago. The creator is Amiya, so you can check her out on Instagram, and she finally sent out all the copies of the BOTAN Tarot. Even though I live in Singapore and I'm so far away, because I was backer 1 and Amiya was sending it based on backer number at the beginning, I was so lucky to get this so fast. I also topped up to get a zine with a lot of helpful information. This was really valuable in my understanding of this deck. So if any of you have actually participated in my Instagram live unboxing of this deck, you have seen my first impressions. Very raw, very authentic, nothing filtered, and I'm always a bit wary about critiquing decks, especially critiquing decks I like because I love them. I love everything I have. I love myself, but I have so many critiques about, myself, for example. So it is what it is. But after reading that zine, I realized there was so much I didn't understand. In the Instagram live, I kind of talked about how PIP-ISH some of the cards were, and because of that, I didn't really understand or connect it to the meaning, the traditional meanings in the book and also in the RWS, because I think it's an RWS based deck. I just wanted to correct myself quickly before we continue. I do like PIP decks. I find them a bit harder to read because there's no imagery, but when they're just purely pips, it is easy because I'm not influenced by the images in the pips, you know what I'm saying? Or when the pips show a bit of meaning and try to have some imagery there or some meaning behind it, that is when I get intrigued and I question myself. That's when I second guess myself. If it's a pure pip deck, you let your brain talk. When it's a pip deck with a bit of imagery, I get a bit confused. Some of the decks that I own are like that, are like the Marigold Tarot. Reading the Marigold Tarot's guidebook didn't really help me as much. Reading this zine really clarified for me how this deck actually works. I'll show you the deck a bit out of order in which it came because I'm gonna suit more of the zine and talk about some of the hidden stories that Amiya has actually embedded in the cards. I won't be showing you the full zine because if you want that, you should be buying the zine and supporting our artists. But I do want to show you how this deck actually kind of works and why now I really enjoy even the PIP-ISH nature of the deck. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you guys the deck, the zine, the cards, everything. So this is what came with the BOTAN Tarot. I also topped up for a zine. So I just want to give you a quick look. It came in this little bag, and in this bag there's a little quartz crystal. I'm gonna take it out and show you. Every backer she gave us a little quartz crystal. And the bag is big and roomy, which is really nice, and it has the flowers. I also got a little postcard saying this, so nice. The problem is in Singapore, there's no such place as a dry place. In Singapore, it's really humid, so I don't know if there's a way for me to listen to this, The zine is a beautiful piece of work. I really enjoy the zine. It really adds so many layers to the stories that are in this deck, which I really wouldn't know. So it's by Miyako M. This is also her Instagram. And it came with this little ribbon thing, which I intend to try to keep using because it's much easier to pull it out. They actually went with this cutout, which is really smart, but the problem is because the deck fills the box up, I can't put my finger in to pull it out. It feels a bit clumsy, so I intend to actually use this ribbon going forwards. But she allows you to pick and choose if you want to because there's no glue here. So I probably will put a spot of glue, paste the ribbon so I can use it to pull the box out going forwards. I need to find some glue for that. The deck itself comes with a little white book, which is really nice. It is fully colored and there's a lot of white space, so I think it's really suited for you to make your own notes as you go along. I really like the paper because this is actual paper and not the glossy kind of paper where you see, sometimes for I think Llewellyn, when they have full color, it becomes a glossy paper, which is really super hard to write on, especially because I use gel pen so everything smudges, but beautiful. Just some keywords reversed and upright. Yeah, but the zine is much more useful. So if you do buy this deck, I really recommend getting the zine. I just want to quickly flip through the zine. She talks about why she created this deck, and she goes through every single card and the stories behind every single card. You see the Chrysanthemum Kingdom. So each of the suits are actually based on a certain flower. So she really talks about that, and all the suits actually in this zine start with the quartz, because she conceived the quartz first, and then she had the stories in the pips, which is amazing. So that's the plan. Even though the deck came from aces to the tens and then the court cards, I'll be trying to show you the court cards all in a row and then talk about the stories in each pip based on my memory, because you know, you should still buy the zine because it covers everything. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of, you know, what I remember from the zine and how it relates to the deck. Okay, look at the backings. Amazing, beautiful. This deck, I can't wait to use it. You know, that's why I kind of want to get this over and done with, because I want to start on the deck. I'll be talking about the cardstock a little later because it's amazing, but I haven't shuffled it yet. It's a linen finish, and it's matte, so I really like matte. Let's go through the major arcana first. So the major arcana, the Fool, so beautiful, with the white dog and his white roses around his head for innocence. The Magician, see, you can see the cups, the pentacles, the swords. Where are the wands? This could be a wand. And there's the Ouroboros here. So in the tattoos is beautiful. She really draws the beautiful, really beautiful, like model-like figures. It's very Art Nouveau, which I think it's her style, but it's also watercolor. Gorgeous. The High Priestess. The Moon, a Cobra, pomegranates, which is of the High Priestess. The Empress. The Emperor, I really like this Emperor with the hawk. There's a sense of discipline and training. The High Priest. In the zine, she talks about how she designed the face piece to be more like Taurus, to remind you of the Taurus nature of the Hierophant. And I really, really like the mottling in the guy's skin. These age spots are so realistic and gives this person a really mature kind of feel. The Lovers, I think these are her original characters that she uses for her comics. I don't know if she draws like comics, full form comics, but again, this is actually the Chariot and the Strength together in the Lovers. I mentioned in my live that I kind of wish this was more ambiguous, because I think that's the most like accessible thing now, having the Lovers as more ambiguous in sexuality. But I'm fine with this traditional meaning. I like the wings behind. The Chariot also has the wings behind, and I love the wolves. So cute. And then Strength. The Hermit with the number 9 on her back. I forgot what these flowers were, but I think she talked about how these flowers also represent, you know, solitude in the zine. So again, that's in the zine. That's very important. And in the zine, she talks a bit about some of these symbols, you know, which I want to read about. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it goes through the moon cycle, the Wheel of Fortune. I think this is Mercury. This is Sulfur. Justice. What a beautiful Justice card. This is really someone who is like a warrior kind of justice. More than an impartial judge, this person is engaging in judging, you know? What a beautiful depiction of the Hangman. So freeing, not trapped like the usual hangman, and yet still that different perspective. The Death card, surrounded by chrysanthemums, which is a flower of death for the Japanese, I think. She has 2 skulls around her. I think this is a wolf and this is supposed to be a deer, something like that. So it talks about predator and prey, both still are collected by death. Temperance, the black and white bowls that she holds. The Devil, one of my favorite cards in this deck. He is so attractive, that smoldering look that he has. The translucent horns, because, you know, not all devils are out there. You don't know if someone is a devil, but smoking is bad for you guys, so just FYI. There's also that 15 hidden here in the crown. The Tower, this is one of my favorite cards in this deck as well. It's so powerful. Amiya doesn't talk about this in the small guidebook, but in the zine and also in, you know, talking about this deck, the Tower is really about how something can be taken away from you. It's about her grandparents being, during the World War II, taken into an internment camp, even though they are Japanese American. You know, and this is one of the internment camps, and flowers have taken over it after so many years, you know. So there's that sense that everything can be taken away, but you can move past that in the tower. Beautiful, beautiful card. The Star. Admittedly, these are the three majors that I don't really super enjoy. I guess I kind of prefer seeing the actual stars and the moon and the sun. So that's on me, that's just a preference. But you can't deny how beautiful these cards are. The Judgment, which I love. Holding a horn, having the wings, you know, she's ready to wake anyone up with that horn. The World is gorgeous, I love the World. She's dancing happily, you know, she's free. And that's the major arcana. Now we'll go on to the minor arcana, and she actually puts these swords first. But I'm going to reorder them a bit because I do feel like the story is based on the courts first. So let's go through the courts. So these are the court cards. And actually these court cards, even though she draws them as people, they all are an animal. I apologize again for the shaky camera, but they are all animals. So this is the king is a crow from his dark wings. The queen is a crane. The knight of swords is a pheasant. And the page of swords is a sparrow. At first I didn't understand the minors because they had all these animals in them, and I didn't know that they were the same, one and the same with the courts. This is so interesting, right? Okay, again, the ace of swords is a standalone. That's a chrysanthemum behind for the swords suit. The two of swords is the page of swords here. She is deciding whether she wants to go on her next adventure. The three of swords. You can see that this scissors is a crane. It's really beautiful how this three of swords is done. I mean, I love the traditional imagery of three swords stuck in a heart, but this is really different and still has that same feeling, just more nostalgic. Okay, I think this depicts the story of the Queen of Swords, where she is a queen transformed into a human for her lover, but her lover broke her promise, you know. So that kind of broken promises does come out in this card for me. The Four of Swords is rest, and this is Crow. You can see Crow here, and he's resting. He needs that rest, you know. Being a king is not easy. The Five of Swords. You see, this is quite a static image, and I think I talked about in my IG live, like I didn't get this. But knowing that these are all characters, I'm getting it better. This is the pheasant, and this is Crow, and they have their differences, you see. So sometimes it's good to turn away from each other, you know, gather your thoughts again before you come together and try to come up with a plan that fits the both of you. That's the Five of Swords. The Six of Swords is Sparrow and the crane. So in this Six of Swords, the swords kind of reminds me of crosses, and I don't know if it's meant to, but it does. And the crane is visiting the sparrow, and she is not sure where to go next. You know, she's lost, but she knows she needs to move forwards, like the river. The river can't move backwards, you know. Beautiful. The Seven of Swords. There is no sneakiness in this card. It's more self-preservation. This is Sparrow, leaving what she knows behind. You can kind of see this as a continuation of the Two of Swords, because she leaves the two behind and chooses a path that requires more gutsiness, and she brings out 5 swords along with her. The Eight of Swords. Again, Crow. Him knowing that, you know, it's not easy. He's burdened by that kind of responsibility. The Nine of Swords. I didn't get this at first, you see. Swords and a feather. But when she explained it, it made so much sense. Amiya just explained it, saying that even though they all seem dangerous, we can take control of our thoughts. If you know, we can take control of our thoughts. It doesn't need to be so debilitating. I don't know if I'm putting this right, but basically she draws a feather because some thoughts, you know, you can try to see in a different perspective. Ten of Swords. She specifically talks about how she doesn't want the same kind of feeling she gets from the Ten of Swords with people lying down, you know, being stabbed in the back. So I do appreciate this, and I want to reread the zine to understand this better. But you see, knowing that the characters in the minors are actually here, it makes a lot of sense to me, and I really enjoy this. we'll move on to the next suit, which is the Ace of Wands. So again, the Ace of Wands is so beautiful. Bamboo. And I really like the shoots coming out. And I'm going to show you the court cards again first. So I think the King of Wands is a wolf. The Queen of Wands is a fox. The Knight of Wands is I forgot. And the Page of Wands is a tanuki, which I never knew existed until I did my live and they told me it's a tanuki. So Two of Wands is the tanuki with his little spyglass, you know. He's observing, he's trying to see what's going on. And this is the Page of Wands. The Three of Wands is depicting the King of Wands here, the wolf. You know, he's lighting up fires because he was trying to send a signal. And this is so beautiful. This is, you know, seeing this without the story doesn't elicit much emotion in me, but after reading the zine, this really opened up my eyes. The Four of Wands is the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands reuniting. The Queen of Wands is not exactly the fox, I'm so sorry. I think she's born within a bamboo and she's pure of heart. And that's a saying and that's a story in Japanese culture. So these two have been looking for each other and they finally met in the Four of Wands. The Five of Wands is about conflict, and you can see the Knight of Wands armor here in the back. Beautiful. The Six of Wands is coming back. You see, when I saw this, I wasn't very sure what it meant. It looks like this person is just wandering around in the bamboo forest, like with the other foxes, you know. But this is meant to show that this fox in particular found the Queen of Wands and is coming back to lead everyone to her because he kind of saved her by finding her. So that kind of triumphant nature, that kind of victory can be felt after knowing the story. Seven of Wands is based on a really cute Japanese folktale about the tanuki. Really cute. The Eight of Wands. This is actually the Queen of Wands falling from the sky. Gorgeous card. The Nine of Wands. This is again about the Queen of Wands. The story of the Queen of Wands, you know, she's making her way forwards. It's been a long journey. And then the Ten of Wands is depicting the Knight of Wands. I think the white dog, he is actually training. So this is not really a big burden, it's a burden that he has been willing to take on. Beautiful. Some of the printing has gone onto the card. Oh no. I mean, I'm gonna try to clean it. Okay, it's not coming off, but I think that's fine. There's only one card out of so many. It's a little pain in my heart though. Whatever. I don't know if I should reach out to Amiya about this because it's such a minor thing, right? Okay, moving on. Let's go through the aces. I really appreciate the Ace of Coins because this is the traditional like Chinese coin. And then let's show you King of Coins. It's a horse. The Queen of Coins is a rabbit. The Knight of Coins is a monkey. And the Page of Coins is a deer. Or is it a deer? A shika. So she's a shika. S-H-I-K-A. She reminds me of a pendulum reader, you know, reading the pendulum. And this reminds me of Sun Wukong from Chinese culture. I forgot to talk about this, but all these seals are her signature, Amiya.com's signature, because that's how we do it in Asian culture. We have a little seal that we stamp. The Two of Coins. This reminds me of Chang'e and the rabbit in Chang'e. But it's specifically about the Queen of Coins, of course. And the flower for this one is the orchid. You can see it in the background of everyone. This is the cutest Three of Coins I have ever seen. I love this. And this is about Knight of Coins and the Page of Coins learning to work together. The Four of Coins. But, you know, the Knight of Coins has always been more of the slowest knights. A knight that waits and harvests. So it kind of makes sense to see it in the Four of Coins because someone has harvested their rewards and they are keeping it safe. The Five of Coins. The story here was a bit, I didn't really get it a lot, but It's about the King of Coins, working so hard. When he wasn't a king yet, he was working so hard trying to find his way, and he almost lost his way until the Queen of Coins like beckoned him into their house. So still a beautiful card. The Six of Coins, I also didn't get this in my IG live that I did, but I can tell now it's just the Queen of Coins being a great queen and offering rice cakes to like her citizens, and you're kind of one of them when you're looking at this card. The Seven of Coins is so beautiful. I really love how she draws the monkeys. I just haven't seen a short-tailed monkey before or a long time, so I was a bit confused with what creature this was. But you see, the Knight of Coins brings back beautiful orchids back. The Eight of Coins, I also didn't get this one. You can see the fireflies all over, so I was just thinking about where's the hard work involved, with the Eight of Coins? Where is that drive and where's the sharpening of skills? But after reading the ZINE, I understand, this is the Sheikah trying to meditate, and she has succeeded meditating to such a point that the fireflies don't distract her anymore. That is so beautiful. Knowing that story really helps flesh out this card. The Nine of Coins, I was confused with this and what it was, but it's actually a saddle. I thought this was a cap. I thought this was a headdress for one of them, but it's a saddle and it represents the King of Coins, and because he's a horse, right? So this is his saddle, and he likes to embellish what he has done for the country around him. He's not afraid of it. He's not ashamed of it. He's proud of what he has done. And the Knight of Coins is the Queen telling their story to the next generation and the next generation and the next generation. How beautiful. The final arcana is the Ace of Cups, and this is the kintsugi detailing that I love. The King of Cups, a dragon, you can see in this tattoo. The Queen of Cups is a goldfish. The Knight of Cups is Momotaro, which is a boy who was born from a peach in this story. I think it's a traditional Japanese folktale. And the Page of Cups, a snake, a white snake. I mean, snakes can move from land to sea, so it kind of makes sense. And the Page of Cups is honestly like my crush in this whole deck. This Page of Cups looks so good. He is so handsome. So just to show you guys, he looks amazing. Okay, let's talk about the pips. So without knowing the story, without knowing the pips were based on the court cards, I was confused by this. But this talks about the love between the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. That is so beautiful. And then these are Three of Cups, where the Queen of Cups met up with her sisters and they were marrying and being merry and being happy. The Four of Cups is about Momotaro, the Knight of Cups, because there's a peach here. I think she talked about how Momotaro being, quiet, being sitting and reflecting. This is what she was trying to bring to this. Oh, the flower here is the cherry blossoms also. Just wanted to point that out. The Five of Cups. This is one of the cards in the deck that reminds me of the RWS, and in a good way because it helps to read what's going on. The Five of Cups shows a smashed cup, and I think it's really about how the King of Cups was being very stormy, really very angry, and caused a lot of problems in the kingdom. And the Page of Cups broke one of his mother's favorite cups or something like that. You know the story. There's a full story behind that, and I love it. It's all in the ZINE, guys. I'm just saying with my faulty memory what I remember. I'm not gonna read the ZINE to you because I feel like everyone should buy it and support Amiya. Okay, the Six of Cups. I was also confused by this because I saw 6 cups. I see a river, I see a peach. I didn't know what it meant, but it actually reflects the Knight of Cups' childhood. So now it really brings to mind the nostalgia, the childhood of the Six of Cups. Amazing. Just knowing one little detail like that really opens up the deck so much. The Seven of Cups. The snake having to make his choices, and there being so many choices, whether to stay in the sea to serve the king or to go back home to on land. The Eight of Cups. The king being angry, thinking whether he should abandon his project or his goal to get back his eye. Amazing detail, by the way. The Nine of Cups. Tea time on a lake. under cherry blossoms. Amazing, you know, this amazing piece here in this card suggested. And the Ten of Cups. I really like this Ten of Cups because there's that kintsugi here, so it's like not everything is perfect, but we've come to a point where it feels at least good for now. And we can always repair things if it doesn't go well. I usually see the Ten of Cups as something more insidious, more fantasy based, like things that are happening is all an illusion, but this really feels more real than other cards, even though clearly these people are not real. I really enjoy the story and the world that Amiya has brought us through this deck, in the minors especially. Amazing. I really strongly recommend this deck to anyone. I feel like this is a very authentic Asian deck, and I've been looking for something like this for such a long time. I'm going to shuffle this for the first time now with the indigo edges, so beautiful. And I'm excited to see how it feels, okay? Okay guys, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculously perfect. It feels good. The size is right. It's not too big. My only fear was that you know, like one of the queens was a bit stained. I'm just wondering whether it's because of shuffling. I don't know. I'm gonna try the riffle shuffle now. So give me a second. I read reversals. So I'm gonna introduce some reversals here. Okay, they are flexible, and they riffle shuffle well. Okay, yeah, they riffle shuffle really well. Amazing. And I guess we can do a quick general reading for everyone here who's watching this video to the end. Can we get a general reading for everyone who's watching this to the end? Just some sweet advice. This might be one of my favorite cardstocks yet, honestly. Okay. We need to learn, we all need to balance our current lives to get the opportunities that can propel us forward, you know? We shouldn't think about the past anymore. We should all move forwards, and the only way is to learn how to balance what we have right now to grasp onto all the opportunities out there. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough. I hope you guys enjoyed me sharing some of the stories behind the BOTAN Tarot based on the ZINE. And you guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye!